stop. Right now. Before this video goes another second. I need you to do something. Go outside. Look under your car. Find the dark stain on the driveway. Got it. Good. Because that stain has a story. And the person who knows that story better than anyone, your mechanic, has been keeping it from you every single time you walk through that shop door. Not because he forgot. Because the moment he tells you the truth, his $800 repair becomes your $12 fix. His 2 hours of labor becomes your 90 seconds in the driveway. His invoice disappears. That is not forgetfulness. That is a business model. Today that business model ends. Let me tell you something about that oil leak that nobody at the service counter will ever say out loud. Your seal is probably not blown. I know what the quote says. Valve cover gasket. Rear main seal. Front crank seal. Big technical words. Serious sounding diagnosis. Big number at the bottom. But here is the truth. On most vehicles between 80,000 to 250,000 miles, that seal is still sitting exactly where the factory put it. It has not cracked. It has not collapsed. It has not disintegrated. It has hardened. That is it. That is the whole problem. Your engine runs between 195 and 220 degrees Fahrenheit every single time you drive. The oil itself hits 250 degrees under load. After years of that heat, the rubber in every seal and gasket slowly loses its flexibility. It contracts. Microscopic gaps open up between the rubber and the metal surface it was pressing against. Oil finds those gaps. But here is what changes everything. Hardened rubber is not destroyed rubber. It has not failed mechanically. It has changed chemically. And a chemical change has a chemical solution. One that costs under $40 and takes 30 minutes of your time. Japanese mechanics have been solving this exact problem for decades. Not with replacement parts. Not with a $1,200 invoice. With a 3-step process that addresses the actual cause instead of billing you for the symptom. I am going to walk you through every single step today. But first, I need to show you the part of this story that is going to genuinely make you angry. Here is something your mechanic has never once told you. In most cases, the seal is not even the original problem. The seal is the victim. Something else in your engine has been quietly building up pressure, pushing outward on every seal and gasket simultaneously, forcing oil toward the weakest exit point it can find. And your mechanic saw that exit point, quoted you the gasket, and never once mentioned the $12 part that caused the whole thing. That part is called the PCV valve. Positive crankcase ventilation. Small. Cheap. Sitting right on top of your engine connected to the intake manifold by a rubber hose. Here is its job. Every engine produces combustion gases during normal operation. Those gases accumulate in the crankcase, the lower section of your engine. The PCV valve vents those gases out using engine vacuum. And that vacuum does something critical. It creates a slight negative pressure inside the engine that pulls oil inward rather than pushing it out. When PCV works, vacuum assists every seal in your engine simultaneously. Oil stays inside where it belongs. When PCV clogs, and on any engine over 60,000 miles that has never been serviced it will clog, that vacuum disappears instantly. Pressure builds inside the crankcase. That pressure pushes outward on every seal and gasket in the engine at the same time. It finds the weakest point, and oil starts coming out. Your mechanic sees the oil, diagnoses the gasket, writes the quote, and never checks the $12 valve that created the pressure that destroyed the gasket in the first place. Now here is the part that takes 10 seconds and might save you $1,200 today. Pull the PCV valve out of the grommet on your valve cover. It just pulls straight out. Takes 10 seconds. Shake it next to your ear. A working PCV valve rattles. There is a spring-loaded plunger inside that moves freely and makes a clear rattle when you shake it. A clogged PCV valve is completely silent. The plunger is sealed in carbon and sludge. The valve stopped doing its job a long time ago. If yours is silent, you just found your oil leak. Not the gasket your mechanic quoted. Not the seal. This $12 valve that he never mentioned. Replacing it takes 90 seconds. Pull the old one out of the grommet. Pop the hose off. Push the new one in. Done. $8 to $15 at any auto parts store. That is the entire foundation of the $800 to $1,200 repair your mechanic was building toward. Now stay right here, because step 1 only solves part of the problem. And the reason most people try this and still end up with leaks is exactly what I am about to show you next. The next step has nothing to do with the seal itself, and it is the step that makes everything else either work or fail. Do not skip ahead. Step 2. The reason seal conditioner fails for most people. Raise your hand if you have tried seal conditioner before and it did nothing. Most of you just raised your hand. Here is exactly why it failed, and it has nothing to do with the product. Over years of driving, engine oil breaks down. Varnish builds up on every internal surface. Carbon collects around seal lips. Sludge settles through the oiling system. A thick contaminated layer forms right between the seal and the metal surface it needs to press against. Now you pour in seal conditioner. The conditioning chemistry is trying to reach hardened rubber through a wall of varnish and carbon deposits. It cannot penetrate. The rubber never absorbs the compounds. The leak continues. You tell everyone seal conditioner is useless. The product is not useless. The engine was dirty. Japanese mechanics never touch seal conditioner without doing this step first. A gentle detergent-based engine flush additive goes into the existing oil. The car is driven normally for 200 to 500 miles. The detergent slowly dissolves the varnish and carbon that has been accumulating around your seals for years. Then everything drains out together with the old oil and filter. Not an aggressive solvent flush. Those can dislodge large chunks of sludge and block oil passages. A gentle sustained cleaning, just enough to clear the contamination sitting directly at the seal surface. Products like Leaky Moly Engine Flush or BG Products EPR do this perfectly. Add to existing oil. Drive 200 to 500 miles per the instructions. Drain everything completely. Replace the filter. Refill with fresh oil in your manufacturer's specified viscosity. Here is how you know it worked. What drains out will be significantly darker than what went in. That dark color, that is dissolved varnish and carbon that was sitting between your seals and the metal they need to contact. Gone. Drained out. Clean metal surface ready for what comes next. Step 3. The chemistry that reverses years of heat damage. Here is where mechanics get uncomfortable, because what I am about to describe makes the gasket replacement conversation very difficult to justify. Quality seal conditioners contain ester compounds, plasticizer agents. When these compounds circulate through your engine with the oil, they get absorbed directly into hardened rubber at a molecular level. The rubber swells slightly, thousandths of an inch. That is all. But that tiny movement closes the microscopic gaps that formed when the rubber contracted from years of thermal cycling. Flexibility returns. Compression returns. The seal starts doing its job again. Products like at 205 Reseal, Bars Leaks Oil Seal, and Leaky Moly Oil Leak Stop all use this exact chemistry. These are not the cheap particulate stop leaks with ground-up material that physically blocks holes and destroys oil pumps. These are ester-based compounds that work on the rubber chemistry itself. Zero effect on oil viscosity. Zero damage to any engine component. Add conditioner to the fresh oil after the flush. Drive 300 to 500 miles. The compounds circulate through every seal in the engine at the same time. Within a few hundred miles, the seep slows. The drip stops. The driveway stain disappears. And here is the part that turns a temporary fix into a permanent solution. Add a half dose at every single oil change from this point forward. Seals that have been reconditioned will reharden without ongoing treatment. Same way leather dries out and cracks without conditioning. A maintenance dose every oil change keeps the rubber flexible permanently. Ongoing care. Permanent result. When does this not work? I am going to be straight with you because some leaks cannot be fixed this way, and I am not going to waste your time pretending they can. If the seal is physically torn or collapsed, conditioning cannot rebuild destroyed rubber. Replace it. If the oil pan cracked from a rock strike, no chemistry fixes cracked metal. That is a mechanical repair. If you are losing more than 1 quart every 1,000 miles, the seal has gone beyond what conditioning can recover. Replace it. Here is how to know before you start. Get underneath the car. Find where the oil is actually coming from. A slow, even film spreading outward from a gasket edge. That is seal hardening. This method works. A single concentrated stream from one point. That is mechanical failure. Skip this method and replace the part. Here is everything in order. Step 1. Pull the PCV valve. Shake it. Silent means clogged means replace it. $8 to $15. 90 seconds. Step 2. Add engine flush to existing oil. Drive 200 to 500 miles. Drain everything completely. New filter. Fresh oil. Step 3. Add seal conditioner to fresh oil. Drive 300 to 500 miles. Half dose at every oil change from now on. Total cost, under $40. Total time, 30 minutes of actual work across 2 weeks. Now look at what the shop was going to charge you. Valve cover gasket, $350 to $500. Front crank seal, $600 to $900. Rear main seal, $1,200 to $1,500 on some engines. Your mechanic knows about PCV valves. He knows what engine flush does. He knows exactly how ester-based seal conditioners work on hardened rubber. He learned the same chemistry you just learned in the last 10 minutes. He just never mentioned it. Now you know exactly why. And now you know exactly what to do this weekend instead of writing that check. If this just changed what you are going to do, hit like right now. Share this with every driver you know. Subscribe so you never miss what comes next. Drop a comment and tell me what country you are watching from. I read every single one.